Step number 4, identify the obstacles. We spend an entire lifetime chasing after success, but rarely do we ask ourselves why many times most of us keep missing on our goals. It doesn't matter what goal you set, whether it's a health goal, a relational goal, a financial goal, a career goal, a mental goal. There is something that goal demands from you. There is something that goal requires of you. Often than not, when we look at people who have achieved a lot, we admire the visible signs of success. We often overlook the sacrifices they made. And you see, the road to success is paved with sacrifices. The next time you meet a very successful person, don't be bothered with where they are. That may never help you. Ask them these blocks, these barriers, these obstacles that they had to overcome. Because the truth is, they had to overcome a lot of barriers. You see, chances are very high a number of people listening to me here tonight have launched a lot of projects unsuccessfully, maybe even 10 or more. And let me tell you why. Let me just tell you why. Are you ready? Here's the deal. You launched a certain project, and the very first challenge is you quit. And you jump ship to the next project. Then you realize it was not a cake or walk in the park either. The only reason the guy who is shining right now is because he dealt with this block, while you looked for the path of least resistance, without realizing you had to look for another road and another highway. See, the path of least resistance makes men and rivers crooked. Every goal you set, the next step you need to do is to identify the obstacles. What can stand between me and my goal? There could be many obstacles. Let me just point out some 4. Then I leave you to be the judge. Maybe they might provoke you. Number 1, it's a purposeless life. A life without a purpose. When you have no purpose, you become the guinea pig of every new idea in town. Every new idea, you are the marketer. Because you have no direction, you are available for whatever option comes in town. If you're clear with your purpose, then you know what you're not. You know who you are and you know who you're not. I repeat, wisdom is not just knowing what to do, but even more importantly, knowing what not to do. When you have a purpose, you see beyond this block. You can see what others cannot see. We call it vision. That's what made Martin Luther King Jr. say, I have a dream one day Obama will be the president of America. In other words, my children will never be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. He was seeing something beyond this block, 50 years into the future. The man died in 1968. How was he seeing that one day a black man can be a president? You see, when you are living a life of purpose, you stay the course until there's breakthrough. Because there's a purpose. You're not just moving. There's a specific place you're going. So the blocks have to give way. It's like if you're driving somewhere, like from Nairobi to Nakuru. It doesn't matter what you meet along the way. You may change routes, but you keep going towards your destination. But you can't have a vision if you don't discover purpose, because vision reveals purpose. Vision is the extent to which you reveal your purpose. Purpose precedes vision. You know, I've emphasized this many times. I honestly believe with all my heart the beginning of the conversation is aligning who you are with what you do. When what you do is what you love is what you do. And if you have not found your place, please sign up. 13th of October. I run these 2 classes twice a year. Sign up. Let's meet 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. This is the same class I was training guys in the high seas of Mediterranean for 4 evenings. And I encourage you today, it will not be the end of your discovery. It will be the beginning. It will be opening up a new chapter. Self-discovery cannot happen in a single day. It is allowing God to begin speaking to you. It is saying, I have struggled, I have hustled far too long. I think there comes a time where I need to connect with me. I've been moving against current. I need to flow along my purpose in life. Birds never struggle to fly. Fish never struggle to swim. You know, I posted an article. I don't know how many of you saw it. There's a place called rest, When God created Adam, he put him in a garden called Eden. And he was working. He was given an assignment to work. But there were no thistles and briars and thorns and weeds. The enemy had no access to Eden. There was work, but there was no curse. That's the place called rest. Rest does not mean you don't work, but it does mean the enemy cannot plant weed. And you need to connect with God's purposes for you. I'll tell you this. Everyone who has connected with their purpose, they still struggle. Life is difficult. Life is not smooth. How much more if you have not connected with your purpose? Are you not the one I'm saying you're pushing rocks upstream? Connect with your purpose. Find your place. Begin to flow in your original intent, what your Maker had for you. One of the reasons we quit from our goals is because those goals were informed because I saw someone else doing it. My high school friend was running that business, so let me try it out. It is not your calling. It is another person's purpose. Second obstacle, negative self-talk. You know, many of us never understand the power of this negative self-talk. We underestimate how we curse ourselves. I'll never make it. There are no customers. Things are so thick in Kenya. Nobody's making money. You know, we loosely speak those words because we have never appreciated the power of negative self-talk. In the past, I've done this illustration before. You see, on 12th of April, 1912, the Titanic hit the iceberg and it began to sink. Regrettably, about 1,500 nobles got lost that evening. Only 700 of them were rescued. Now, if you can see this glass properly, above the water is just the tip of the pen. The iceberg, what they were seeing above the water, is not the true iceberg. It's a reflection of something deeper, deep-rooted. The real problem is beneath the surface, and that's what we call the subconscious. What is below the surface of this water is where the real pen is. The rest is the tip of the pen. So basically the Titanic hit an island, a rock, and that's how it began to capsize and to sink. Every time you make a negative statement, it's a reflection of what is deep-rooted in your subconscious system. Because your words reflect your subconscious system. Your conscious mind implements your conscious orders. It doesn't choose what is good or bad for you. It doesn't act in your best interest. It simply implements what you have been installing day in, day out. And that's why, to undo this negative self-talk, step number one, you need to link up with positive people. Be deliberate to get out of negative people. Who are negative people? People who are always complaining. It's interesting that God Almighty decided every murmurer, every complainer in the wilderness will never reach Canaan. God took it that seriously. And people who are always complaining about their spouse, they are cursing their spouse. People who are complaining about their company, they are cursing their opportunity in that company. Another one is getting blessed right in that company. And it is true, people who keep cursing Kenya rather than offering solutions for Kenya. When I'm at home, I have to raise the issues about home. When I'm away, and I can tell you, Mercy can tell you this, I think I converted enough tourists for Kenya, for real. The last 2 weeks, I converted enough tourists for Kenya. I can't discuss anything negative about this country with a foreigner. But I can do it with you. We can discuss solutions because it's home for us to fix issues. Not complaining, discussing solutions. And I'll continue doing that. I've purposed, I'll not just be doing life skills. I've purposed, I'll drive a culture change in this country. And I'm sure you have seen me starting to do that, and I'll take it a notch higher. You remember very well last year, March? We marched around this city over and over again calling for peaceful elections. We knew there would be a dispute in August. But many people complained about it, they murmured about it, they gossiped about it. I'm glad we did something. 10 years to come, we will be judged having been righteous with what was happening in this country. It was not comfortable for us. We didn't do it because it was comfortable, but because it is the right thing to do. So I think there's something I need to do for this country. There's too much corruption, that's true, but I just don't want to talk about it. I think we have to drive a culture change in this country. And I will not wait for you. I will just go ahead. And I believe others will warm up to the discussion. And I've started doing it at serious places right now. I'm having a meeting tomorrow with Kenneth Marende, the former speaker for the National Assembly. And I did it before leaving here with the Senator Speaker, former Speaker, Ekwe Thuro. And I'll continue doing this, and I'll continue giving solutions, and that's what I'm inviting you to do. Stop negative talk and start offering solutions, even for your home. Because you can never rise above your self-talk. What you say is your limiting factor. Number 3, pleasing everyone. Pleasing everyone, especially our seniors. There are a lot of us here who want to do all errands for everyone to gain favor. And believe me, your boss will identify you as an errand girl, as an errand boy. They'll still bypass you in promotion and pick up the person who is strategic. Refuse to play errand boy or errand girl. They are there. They will always be there. Jesus said, the poor will always be with you. Errand boys, errand girls are always there, but they don't come for this meeting. Stop carrying briefcase for someone. You realize in this meeting, I've refused us creating that kind of an atmosphere. I never allow any people here to start walking around with my things, my water. Because I don't want you to copy those behaviors. Jesus was a servant. If Jesus was a preacher in Kenya today, he wouldn't do some of the things we are seeing people doing. And that doesn't mean you don't honor me. Honoring me is not carrying me around. I can walk. How do you think I reached the top of Mount Kenya? Here is the deal. Focus on your work. Number 4, pursuit of perfection. I know a lot of people who never launch anything because they can't launch it until it's perfect. I want to ask you a question. Perfect in whose eye? The state of perfection is not attainable. Don't strive for perfection, strive for excellence. Excellence is going the extra mile, one step at a time, treating every step as an experiment. Let me say this. There are hundreds and hundreds of obstacles between you and your goal. Therefore, they are not a reflection. They are not even a tip of the number of obstacles out there. I suggest this. Analyze in advance, manage them as much as you can, but I give you a caution. There are many obstacles along the way that you can never predict. I call them unfamiliar giants. They will show up as you begin to implement. What is critical for you is to stay the course. Don't quit because of these blocks. Deal with these obstacles, but keep moving. Keep moving. Don't quit. Once you identify the obstacles, step number 5, execute your goal. Life has no rehearsals, only performances. Performance determines the predator in any food chain. A nickel of performance is for the whole world of promises. Past performance produced today's privileges. I'll put it this way. Irrespective of the amount of knowledge you have, irrespective of strong feelings and emotions towards a certain undertaking, execute it. Your strong feelings about something, about a business idea, the much information you have will not produce results until you execute it. You can teach business classes at very high levels and never run business. You can know a lot of politics and never be in parliament or start a consulting house in political science. Execution is the line between talkers and performers. What drives execution? One word: passion. Passion drives execution. There's nothing you can achieve without passion. Can you imagine if somebody was selling to you mangoes? And then you ask him, how are the mangoes? He said, well, I'm not sure. Just try. I haven't tasted them. Can you imagine if there was a guy who was selling, say, apartments, and you ask him, how is the stability of this building? And the marketer tells you, well, you know what? I'm not a structural engineer or the developer, but these cracks don't seem like it's going to fall in the next couple of months. I think it's all right. Can you imagine someone saying to you, I can't say, I haven't tested the brakes. I don't know whether, I'm not sure whether it's got to stop. Start driving. Can you imagine a father-in-law, prospective father-in-law, giving your girl and saying, she's not bad. In fact, on an average year, we don't take her to a mental hospital more than 3 times. Can you imagine a banker who is selling for you fixed deposit account, and then you ask him, how safe is the bank? How stable it is? And the banker tells you, I suspect they will give you back your deposit. Can you imagine an insurance guy who comes to you, maybe general insurance like a car, and then you ask him a direct question, do they pay claims? And the guy tells you, well, I don't work in the claims department. You know, I was just sent here to ensure you sign the form and give me the money. My job is to collect premiums. Are you going to buy insurance from that guy? You think about any role model you know, whether in business or in music or in arts or in leadership, and you realize they were all passionate with what they were doing. All of them. Why be passionate? Let me give you some 4 reasons on your screen. Passion fuels courage. Passion gives you the courage to start. Passion gives you the courage to rise up when you fall. And passion gives you courage to stare at fear and keep going. As Ambrose Redmond would put it, courage is not the absence of fear, but the judgment that something else is more important than fear. People who start and those who don't start is because those who start something, those who take initiatives have courage. Not because they have all variables under control. They just trust the dots will connect. They will add up. Secondly, passion harbors creativity. People who are passionate, day in, day out, they don't think about anything else except what they're doing. You see, you can never succeed in anything until you're obsessed about it. So they create some quiet time to reflect. And ideas begin to flow. And you wonder, how on earth did you think about this? And other people start sending them ideas because passion is contagious. You can tell whether someone is passionate or not about what they are saying. And passion is not revealed by what you say, it's revealed by what you do. Of course, what you do and what you say must be in congruence. Thirdly, passion maintains focus. If you have the latest news about every girl, every boy you're together in college, you are a gossiper. If you have the latest updates about everyone whom you parted in college 20 years ago, you know where they live, what they are doing, where they work. You are such a rumor monger operating on 80 degrees far away from the successful. How and when do you collect this data? Who pays for your surveys? Seriously speaking. You realize people who are focused do not get to know so many stories except what they're doing. They can say like the Apostle Paul, this one thing I do. They don't want to know many things. They just want to know what they're doing. Now, this may upset some people, but not the successful. Because the equally focused people are concentrating with your area. And they want you to concentrate with your area because when you don't focus on your craft, you start becoming a bother. So even when we meet for coaching, you have direct questions. You will not consume time in vain. Number 4, passion beats talent. Let me say this. I can tell you historically speaking, all men and women who succeeded in all fields of endeavor, they have agreed this one thing. Passion beats talent any day. Any day. In fact, arguably the greatest scientist of the last century, Albert Einstein, would say it this way. I don't think I'm uniquely talented, but I'm passionately curious. The 30th president of the US, Calvin Coolidge, one of the most popular quotes of all times, he would say this. Nothing in the world will take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full of educated derelicts. Doesn't that agree with the scriptures? Whatever you are advised to do, do it passionately. Direct quotation, do it with all your might. If you've been attending our meetings, this is one of the 5 scriptures I quote from time to time. Ecclesiastes 9:11. Echoing the same words, the psalmist would say this about the Christ. Chapter 69, verse 9. The zeal of your house has consumed me. Zeal, passion, consuming desire to succeed. Without that, no goal will be executed. You see, I picked this picture because this is a dangerous climb. When men and women of passion see the possibility of peaking, men of fear see the possibility of falling. When men and women of passion see the possibility of succeeding, men and women of fear see the possibility of failure. Where do you lie? Step number 6.